Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Scroll Halters podcast with your host, Mitre Imanani. This show is brought to you by Social Marketing Writing, a social media agency based in Paris, France, that helps businesses with their email marketing and social media marketing. Today, I'm joined by Dorian Van Moreen, who's a social media strategist and also a mom to four dogs and four humans. Hi, Dorian. Could you tell people a bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Doreen, and I was born and raised in the Netherlands, and immigrated at age 18 to the U.S. Just went on a big adventure. Spent quite a few years raising my family before I started my business and became a social media strategist. Started out as a social media manager, became a community manager, and then really dove into the strategy part of social media and really enjoying that part. I still love writing and creating content, but my sweet spot mostly lies in collaborating with clients and getting the ideas from their heads, their brains, onto paper and then onto social media. So I can really pull out a good story, having those conversations, and then collaborating with clients on what that content's going to look like.
Okay. Do you work with any specific type of client or
I have worked in the last 14 years with a lot of different clients, B2C, B2B. I have a SaaS client. I've done law firms, security companies, plumbers. I mean, you name it. The last few years, those who've come to me for help are knowledge experts, so PhD in cooking, or a coach who coaches the coaches, like the high level knowledge person
okay?
who very much doesn't want to do social but understands they need to be visible online. And so providing that content support for them has really been a really great and fun project for most of these clients, where they're writing, they're producing content, but not necessarily for social. So I work with them on, meeting with them, maybe creating videos, and then using what's in their head and taking that information and that knowledge and their expertise onto social. And they usually, it's not even that they don't have the time, they usually don't even know where to start. And that's really one of my most ideal clients lately, that I love working with, right? I get to work with the principal of the company and get to really learn about a topic, a service, a product really in depth.
So these people are mostly selling like a course or a coaching program, and you're helping them.
Yeah.
And are you just mainly doing the social media stuff, or are you also helping them with things like coming up with the offer and the funnel?
Sometimes I help with the funnel. Sometimes I do newsletters. I've done some SEO blog writing for them. So it really, there's no one size fits all. I'm usually part of a team. So a lot of these clients will have, say, somebody who's doing the funnel for them. And what I have found is that I often get called in when they're trying paid first, and paid doesn't really work unless you have an organic strategy. So
Yeah.
I get pulled in to do the organic, the fun post, the building community post, the awareness stuff. Because when I start doing that, then their paid starts working better. Their email starts working better, right? It's the
Yeah.
social proof. So sometimes I get pulled in the beginning. Sometimes I get pulled in because something isn't working. But I'm usually part of their team. Sometimes I'm their whole team. Most of the times I'm part of a team.
I think yes, social is doing it organic is a good way to understand the audience and figure out their problems better, and then
Yeah,
you can use that data to create better offers,
right.
and that's that, and then a better a better strategy for converting paid traffic.
That's
And
right. Organic is a great testing
yeah,
ground
yeah,
for new ideas, right? For new content, for a new voice, for trying out trends. seeing what lands and what sticks with your audience, and then taking the best of the organic and use that for your paid campaigns as a starting point.
It's a lot cheaper to validate your offer with the free method than to waste money with ads.
Right.
And do you focus on any specific networks?
I love LinkedIn, and especially for these knowledge experts and the CEOs that I'm working with, LinkedIn is their main place that they're on. I have to say some are still on Facebook, but I also have had some that don't really like the Facebook advertising platform. So then they don't want to be on Facebook. Doing Instagram, of course, we're doing Reels. If they have a book, if they have a course, Reels are a great way to tell those stories. So if the Reels are created for Instagram, of course, they go on Facebook Reels, and they might, also go on LinkedIn. But I really try to focus on one platform to keep that audience in mind and create the content for that platform first, and then I'll repurpose it on the other platforms. But I really want to make sure that their main platform gets that audience there gets served with the best content that they're looking for. So if they want to build their YouTube versus LinkedIn, I definitely want some shorts on there, but I'm going to tell them that we need a 5 to 10 minute video, not a short video. But if we're focusing on LinkedIn, I'm going to focus on polls, short form video, and carousels. So it kind of depends on where we are. And of course, a lot of that content lives on other places, and I can adjust the copy. But I really like to focus on one when I write the copy and when I work on the content. It makes it a little bit easier, and then at least you have that one platform really dialed in.
And I remember you mentioned something about on LinkedIn on how um, you got some like 3,000 followers by just posting videos on your personal profile.
Yeah, I did. Last year, in March of 2024, LinkedIn announced that short form video was going to be a big deal. And I wasn't producing short form video regularly at that time.
Yeah.
And so I kept seeing it. I kept seeing some people, just posting here and there. Nobody was really regular. And then in July, I just kind of was like, you know what? It's beautiful out here. I live in Vermont. I can take videos outside. I don't need to be in a studio. And I just kind of made a deal with myself. Just try to do one a day. Well, that's not actually a very good idea. I ended up doing 3 or 5 a day, one day a week instead. But I would post one a day, and that algorithm on LinkedIn at that time was crazy because it was a new feature. And this is a tip for anybody at any time. When a platform pushes out a new feature, go and work with that feature, because they'll put extra umph behind that feature. So that short form video on LinkedIn was pretty new. Not a lot of people were adapting it and using it. And I started in July, and by August, some of my videos were getting 1 million impressions.
Okay.
So what happened was some videos would go in the regular feed and my regular audience would see it. But if it went into the video feed, my second and third connections would see it. And
Oh,
because I did so many and it was working so well, I, from July until December, and gained 3,000 followers because my videos were shown to my secondary audience, really, which
okay.
was amazing. So that really was that tipping point. And I think on January 1st, LinkedIn turned the faucet off,
Okay.
and those videos aren't really doing the same thing. That actually, and I don't know if you have this, but a lot of my friends in Europe have told me that the video feed on their phone is no longer visible, so they took it back off. If you're on your mobile and you look at LinkedIn, and they had a little video feed button that you can go in, and they say it's disappeared. I think LinkedIn has actually told us that year over year, video on LinkedIn has grown by 36%. So just by taking the video feed away right now doesn't mean that video has gone away on LinkedIn. My thought is something new is coming, And whether that means that you can go onto LinkedIn and create a video like you can do on Instagram, you can create a reel, or
Yeah.
on TikTok, I think something like that is coming to LinkedIn, where maybe you can go live on LinkedIn, and without a third-party app. They're working on something, and when that comes out, believe me, I'll be the first one to try all that stuff, because I can see and I know that when you work with the new features, the algorithm really likes you. So that's kind
Yeah.
of the a long-winded a long-winded answer to your question.
I think the good thing about creating videos like the ones you did is you can just repost them on Reels, on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts,
Yep,
and
that's
yeah,
correct.
you reach more people. And yeah, that's what they if you can do video content, it gives you a big edge over your competitors, especially if you're not a great copywriter, because you can make a much stronger connection with your audience.
Yep.
And so right now you're not getting the same amount of engagement you did in the past. Yeah, for me, they've removed the video field
Yep.
on my mobile, but I've heard rumors that they're actually trying to find a different position for it.
Right. I don't
And
think, yeah, I still have it, and so that's why I was saying. I think most of the people that say they've lost the ability or lost that button, they've been in Europe. So I think that's where they removed it. But video still does really well. My videos still perform well. I think my first connections see it. I get reactions, I get engagement. I don't get the impressions and the reach. Like where I would in July, August, September, I would post a video and I would get 500,000 impressions,
okay,
300,000 views. I don't know how many minutes of views. Now I don't get that anymore. The videos are still doing well, and I still think my audience sees them, but no second and third connections. No new people are being drawn in by my video. So it's definitely a different game.
okay, I think I'm gonna get in and start posting some videos too. And do you repost these videos on other platforms like?
Yeah, so initially I was not, because I was really focused on LinkedIn. I really wanted to dial into what my LinkedIn audience wanted. I did a bunch of series. I did mistakes not to make as a social media strategist, hiring a freelancer. I would really do a bunch of a batched content series, almost like people could binge watch these in a row. So I have since the beginning of this year reposted them on YouTube. I'm in the process of posting them as Facebook stories, Facebook Reels, and then also Instagram Reels. So they're getting pushed out now, and yeah, I don't think it can hurt. And I actually just started experimenting with reposting some of my uh, popular videos from the fall. So I'm going to start doing that and do a little bit of an experiment. Maybe do some with the same copy, maybe do some with new copy. The one thing that I can tell you is it's an interesting algorithm, and I've kind of closely watch it on LinkedIn. On the weekend, you get served a lot of content that is posted on Thursday and Friday. So my videos that I posted on Thursday and Friday gained momentum over the weekend, and then I would check in on Monday and they did the best. So I started doubling up on in the fall. When those videos did really well, I would post one Thursday morning, one Thursday afternoon, one Friday morning, one Friday afternoon, and those videos usually did the best all week. So I've definitely seen some different things pop up. A couple weeks ago on a weekend, I was on LinkedIn, and it was all political posts, and it wasn't my audience. LinkedIn was showing me my audience reacting to political posts. Now, I've had political posts turned off. I don't want to see them. I've told LinkedIn that. But this was my connections reacting to LinkedIn posts by their connection. So it was very interesting. I normally don't see that, but I do think there's a difference in what happens during the week on LinkedIn and what happens on the weekend. And I saw that when I started really testing the videos. And I think just more recently when this political content ended up showing up as a secondary option.
Yeah.
So always be testing. If there's anything that I'm learning from this, and you should too, is that when you think you've got it figured out, Something new comes along
Yeah.
and it's new. Yeah. And it
Yeah, usually
changes.
political content tends to do very well on social media because it's controversial,
Yeah.
but there's a risk with posting political content, with controversial content is that you could get suspended, especially on some platforms like
Yeah.
Instagram, where people take bigger risks. But if you want to go viral, what I find works with video especially is more inspirational or motivational content.
Yeah.
If you can pull humor, that works too. And so, have you tried posting the content on Reels?
Um, on, uh, on Instagram Reels, it's
Yeah.
going out this week. I just started
Okay.
posting it this
Okay.
week. I'm not, it's funny, it's the one platform on Instagram where I'm a lurker and not a poster. So I just like to consume that content. I have not been really active on Instagram, but I just this week started posting them. And just maybe 4 or 5. So I'm going to look on Friday, I've scheduled them out. On Friday, I'll see how they did. And if they did well, I'm just going to go all in and do 2 a day for the next 50 or 60 days because I have that many banked already that I did. And I'll just schedule them out and then see what happens. I might gain some momentum there. Now, some are seasonal, right? Because I started in July. It was really hot here in Vermont. It's very green. I did a lot of outdoor stuff. And then November, December, I started doing outdoor stuff in the snow. So
Mm.
I do have to be careful of what I post when. I want to make sure that, yes, the message needs to be right, but I feel like I can't post very seasonal content. So there's definitely a little bit of culling that I have to do. And that's moving forward. I might align more of, okay, it's going to go on LinkedIn today. Maybe it goes on Instagram Reels next week. So that way it's closer in the season. But yeah, I was really focused on that one platform and I really wanted to establish myself on that. And it was just, at that time too much to think about repurposing it other places. So, but definitely heeding my own advice, it's happening now. So it took a while. Took a while.
Okay. I'm curious to see how the videos would do on another platform compared to LinkedIn.
They didn't do as well on YouTube. And I've heard
Okay.
somebody say that YouTube videos do well on LinkedIn. LinkedIn videos don't do as well on YouTube. Now,
Okay.
I don't know if that's true. So, and that's what I was saying for my clients. I really try to pick one. If they want to grow YouTube, I'm going to create content based on what the YouTube algorithm tells me they need to create. And if we're focusing on LinkedIn, I'm going to do that. So I think because I make these videos for my LinkedIn audience, they just didn't do as well on YouTube. I mean, I'm saying not as well. There's some videos that got like 500 views, some shorts, which is fine, but nothing, went crazy or did extraordinary well. And there were a lot. There were close to 100. So, yes, they got me views. Yeah, they got me seen, but they didn't do anything extraordinary. Now, I wonder if I start making videos, short form videos for YouTube, and if I then repost them on LinkedIn, if that would be a better plan. So again, I'm testing lots of
Okay.
different things, and that's something that I'll be testing next.
Okay. I think it might work better on YouTube if. I think what works better on YouTube is when you create something that targets a younger audience.
Hmm.
But yeah, LinkedIn is people are a bit older, a bit more professional.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's always a hindrance where one thing that works on another platform might not work here.
yeah.
Thank you for joining us today. Can you let people know how they can find you?
Sure. I'm most active on LinkedIn. My name everywhere online, Doreen Morton Van Dam, you can see, but I'm also known as at More in Media, which is the name of my business. So if you tag that on LinkedIn or anywhere, I'm More in Media on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Got that
Okay.
tag a long time ago. And if you see somebody with orange glasses, you know it's me. So
Okay.
pretty easy to find.
Again. Okay. Again, thank you so much for joining us. It was, I think, the insights you shared about what worked on LinkedIn that was very helpful. I'm sure my listeners will find that helpful too, and hopefully they can score some followers and some clients with it.